Hello, and welcome to the first episode of De-Stress with Z. This episode will talk about interesting books for young adults out there that are pursuing a career in the field of psychology or people with a general interest of psychology and how it intervenes in every aspect of our lives. I'm Zain Alham. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in women and gender studies, and I'm gonna be your host. The first book that I'm going to introduce today is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This author is truly amazing. What I loved about this book the most is his notion that the only thing that we possess is the present moment. What was in the past is actually a former now. And what we do for the future is a set of expectations that we put for ourselves. I'm just gonna go through this book real quick and just stop on one of the pages. All right. So this is gonna be chapter 8. Enlightened relationships. Enter the now from wherever you are. I always thought that true enlightenment is not possible except through love in a relationship between a man and a woman. Isn't this what makes us whole again? How can one's life be fulfilled until that happens? Is that true in your experience? Has this happened to you? Not yet, but how could it be otherwise? I know that it will happen. In other words, you are waiting for an event in time to save you. Is this not the core error that we have been talking about? Salvation is not elsewhere in place or time. It is here and now. What does that statement mean? Salvation is here and now. I don't understand it. I don't even know what salvation means. Now, when he puts those questions, those are actually questions that his patients used to ask him when he made those statements. So, in regards to this topic, it's entitled relationships. And he talks about how we are waiting for an event in time to save you. Do you really need a relationship of love between a man and a woman? Or do you just want it? That is something that you decide. The right time, or is there an event in time specifically for that to happen? This is beautiful, how he puts the words, how he puts the questions. It actually relates to other people. You know, it's more like the questions that you don't want to ask. He just puts them there, and then he puts the answers within like 2-3 pages. Very well organized, and he gives examples to illustrate his main ideas. I'm gonna go through maybe a more earlier topic. Let's look at the first chapter. Oh, this is amazing. This is actually the first chapter. You are not your mind. The greatest obstacle to enlightenment. Now, patient asks, enlightenment, what is that? And that is really a common question that a lot of us ask when we're first starting psychology. So let's see what Eckhart Tolle says. A beggar had been sitting by the side of a road for over 30 years. One day a stranger walked by. Spare some change, mumbled the beggar, mechanically holding out his old baseball cap. I have nothing to give you, said the stranger. Then he asked, What's that you're sitting on? Nothing, replied the beggar. Just an old box. I have been sitting on it for as long as I can remember. Ever looked inside? Asked the stranger. No, said the beggar. What's the point? There's nothing in there. Have a look inside, insisted the beggar. The beggar managed to pry open the lid. With astonishment, disbelief and elation, he saw that the box was filled with gold. I am that stranger who has nothing to give you and who is telling you to look inside. Not inside any box, as in the parable, but somewhere even closer, inside yourself. But I'm not a beggar, I can hear you say. I love how he illustrates the story as a means of explaining how you are not your mind and the importance of looking within, inside you, your inner child. It's just amazing. It kind of explains how a lot of us people today get distracted within today's 9 to 5, within today's, courses and everything, and it takes us away from creativity. You spend all these years trying to keep going from this and that, meet the expectations that you put yourself, the expectations that your parents put for you, and society overall. And you forget to speak to your inner child. You see this child within you? It's the person that's going to get you closer towards your goals in the future. If you do not address what that inner child needs, it's going to take you a long way to get there. And realizing that early on truly helps. Imagine that child as one of your own. Now, we all know somebody that is a mom or a dad today, and if not, for a kid, for a puppy or a cat. So consider that inner child someone that you truly love, someone that you care for more than yourself. And replace that person with your inner child. And ask yourself, ask that inner child, what do you need? What are the things that I can do for you today to help you help me move forward? That's the first step you can do. And I truly stress on this the most. You can only start from yourself before you start helping other people. As someone that's pursuing a career in the field of psychology, I learned this as I started, that I have to start from myself. Because the most help that people get today is by being relatable or experiencing it. And what the difference between us is actually a basis of frequency. So I believe that we all encounter depression at some point in our lives, but the frequency is different amongst us. So even if you experience it at a lower level, you still understand what it is when you look in somebody else's eyes and know what they're going through. Maybe not the same way, but you still know how it feels, and you're able to help them even more. How beautiful is that? You start from yourself and you can help a nation. Thank you for tuning in today. This was the first episode of De-Stress with Z, and I hope you tune in.